Hey, everybody, listen, I want to say to you all, thank you all so much for joining in and tuning into this powerful platform. I want to certainly tip my hat to all of the speakers that have gone before me. Such a wonderful job that each of them have done. And just to be able to caboose onto this moment is just an honor to me. Certainly, I want to tip my hat also to the visionary and the host of this wonderful platform, James Jacobs. And listen, just to be a part of this, I count it a privilege, as I stated. And tonight, I'm going to dive in and I'm going to be talking about the 3D effect. And I'm so excited. Thank you for that warm welcome. I'm so excited tonight because whenever I get a chance to speak into the lives of leaders and importantly, and more importantly, even my generation, I count that a major task because we have to be able to impart into our lives something that's going to push us towards what God has called us to do. And I believe that's called purpose. And so, again, tonight, I'm going to be sharing about the 3D effect. Now, I want to say this, that my goal in this session tonight is to help us to focus on removing your distractions, also revisiting your dedication and refueling your determination. Each dimension in this 3D dimension is critical for you to understand as you go through the process. All right. And so tonight, these are the things that we want to highlight, we want to have insight on, and we want to also be able to take moments of noting. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you this, in my outline, I tend to go through my outline, but every now and then I'm pretty extemporaneous. So there's some things that won't be on my outline that you may want to note. And I promise you, it'll help you for later on. And this topic is simply inspired. I was watching a movie probably about 17 plus years ago. And the movie was entitled The Lion King. And many of you, you've heard of it, you've seen it. You probably grew up watching it, even your children. And I watched the movie. It was a phenomenal movie. But then I noticed that Disney struggled to have another movie to hit the level of Lion King. Great movies came out after that, but they struggled to reach that level. And I want to say this to you, that it was about 17 years later that Disney discovered that, watch this, that they put the same movie out, but this time they put it out and they called it The Lion King in 3D. And this was amazing to me because, as you know, the first time they put it out, we were able to see it in its height and its width. But this time they allowed us to go into the IMAX theaters and put on the glasses where we were able to see it in the depth. That's what we call 3D, the height, the width, and the depth. And I want to say this to you, that as we progress as leaders, we must focus on the dimensions in our lives that deal with not only the height addresses the levels we can reach and or rise to, but also the width, and that's the ability to expand in your network or your net worth. All right, let me say that again, that your height is, it addresses the levels that we can reach and or rise to, but your width is the ability to expand in your network or your net worth. But also the depth, that right there, my friend, that's the passion in which we move while attempting to rise and to expand. Listen, I hope tonight that you're going to be encouraged as we now get ready to dive into these three different dimensions. As we see again, the first dimension is removing your distractions. Yes, if you're going to be effective, if you're going to be what God has called you to be, if you're going to be that great business guru in your business world, if you're going to be that educational explorer and take these routes in life, you must first remove the distraction. Now, you must understand that this is critical because oftentimes it's the distractions that keep us, watch this, from where it is that we have to go in our journey. And you'll notice the definition for distraction is this: the quality of being dedicated or committed to a task or purpose. Let me say that again. It's the quality of being dedicated or committed to a task or purpose. Now, let me say this to you, that the track, and that's the second dimension. I want the first one. You'll notice this, that this is important to realize because oftentimes things are coming to really get you out of your place, not to reach your destination. But it's the removal of your distraction that's going to give you the ability to accelerate moving forward. All right, let me read the definition again for distraction. It's a thing that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else. Okay, it's a thing that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else. My question to you tonight is this: what is preventing you from getting to that place of goal? What is or who is preventing you from reaching your destination? The first thing that we'll see here as we look into the removing of your distraction is you must protect your time. All right. You must protect your time. This is really critical because if you don't protect your time, you're not speaking a lot of, and it doesn't speak well of what you believe you're going to reach or the goal that you're going to attain. When you don't protect your time, it gives room for ineffectiveness. Oftentimes, we tap into ineffectiveness and we wonder, how do we get to this place of being ineffective? But if you go back and look over the time that you were allotted, the time that you were given, you didn't appropriate your time. And when you don't give your time an assignment, watch this, anything begins to take the space and the time that you have. And watch this, the outcome, the results are always uncertain. Let me say it again, that when you don't give your time an assignment, when you don't give it purpose, anything can enter into the space and time that you've been given, and the outcome is always uncertain. So we have to protect the time. Not only do we protect the time, but watch this. When we don't protect our time, we tend to miss deadlines. And when we miss deadlines, the result is delayed success or no success at all. How many times can you think about in your life when you missed your deadlines that you set for yourself, and you found yourself, watch this, you found yourself in a position where your success was delayed. You knew what you had to do, but you didn't give time an assignment, and you found yourself delayed, time pushed back, or you didn't reach your destination at all. We have to protect our time. Now, I want to say this to you also. Not only must you protect your time, but you also have to push refresh daily. Every day that you wake up in the morning and you get started on your day as a leader, you got to push the refresh button. Nobody else is going to push it for you, but you got to push it yourself. Don't be afraid to push refresh, no matter what happened yesterday. Let what happened yesterday stay in yesterday, but today you got to push that refresh button. And how do you push refresh? How do I push refresh, Ronelle? Someone may be asking. Can I tell you this is how you push refresh? Some people have various ways that they push refresh. Some people wake up in the morning and they eat a healthy breakfast, and they sit down, they begin to meditate about what their day is going to be like. Other people, they write down the objective, they write down the agenda, they write down their priorities when they wake up in the morning. Other people, they wake up to a moment of prayer, a time where they can kind of push the refresh on their mind and their spirit, no matter what they've been going through. Other people, they listen to music or they go work out. They get their body going. They jumpstart themselves. They put themselves in an atmosphere, watch this, where it's brand new. It's a brand new opportunity. Whatever it is that gets you going, listen to me, friends. Don't be afraid to push refresh every morning you wake up. It's critical for the leaders. Many people don't push refresh and they find themselves overwhelmed, anxiety. They found themselves being overtaken, watch this, by the cares of yesterday, that they become ineffective today. All right. So you got to push refresh because it removes the distraction of yesterday. But not only that, but you'll also understand that when we remove these distractions, we must prepare a positive environment. All right. For my note takers, let me say that again, that not only, number one, underneath removing distractions, you have to protect your time, push refresh daily, but you have to prepare a positive environment. Now, this is really critical. Your environment, and I'm getting so excited about this because this is something that I really believe in. You have to prepare a positive environment. Now, what do you mean by that? You have to check your surroundings. Check who's in your atmosphere. Check who's in your environment. You have to take in consideration what you're listening to. What's coming in your ears? What's on the radio? What's on the television? Even in your subconscious, what's happening? Because all of that is putting an impression on your mind. It's infecting or affecting what you'll accomplish that day. Because watch this, your inspiration comes as a result of what is inspiring you, what's around you. And so you must prepare a positive environment. You have to be intentional about what's on your walls, pictures, statements, messages, songs that speak to what you must accomplish, things that are preparing your mind to be an accomplisher, an accomplished individual, not one that's listening or has things around you or negative conversations of failure, but success has to be around you because watch this, success is intentional. And if you're not being intentional about preparing your atmosphere, watch this, then you're still preparing for an unsuccessful day. And you got to push that every day and you got to prepare that for your own self. Not only do you have to protect your time, not only do you have to refresh daily, not only must you prepare a positive environment, but here's something that I want to give you. You have to possess courage. If you're going to remove the distractions in your life, you have to possess courage. Now, what do you mean by that? Watch this. In the book of Joshua, in the Holy Writ, you'll notice that God says to him, be thou strong and very courageous. When you look at the word strong, it deals with the ability to build muscle mass, to build strength, to build the ability to carry weight after a level of repetition, right? You begin to work out, an individual works out, they can get stronger in the gym. Now, that being said, let's take this into consideration. I was an athlete. I played basketball, ran track, and I noticed something about the basketball court. Let's say we take two individuals that are both athletes. They both work out. They both have gained a level of strength from working out in the gym. Now, they both have strength, but when it's time for the game to be played, the lights are on, the popcorn's smelling, you can smell it, it's cooking, the cheerleaders are screaming, the opposing fans are screaming. Now, both of them, watch this, have to be able to utilize their strength. This is where courage comes in. One of the players doesn't have the ability to implement their strength, but the other individual does. That's called courage. Courage is taking the strength you have, watch this, and implementing it when it matters most. Oftentimes in life, people do not remove distractions because they don't take courage. But your destiny, your purpose, your business, the things that you're pursuing, your ministry, it has to mean something to you to the point that you take the strength God has given you, the strength that you've acquired in the workhouse, the strength you've acquired as you work daily on your pursuing your business goals, your ventures. And you have to take courage to the point where you say, you know what, I'm not going to allow you or anything around me, watch this, to distract me, causing me to deviate from my plan. All right. It's important for us to get to that place. So not only should we remove the distractions, but let's now go into this. Our next dimension. All right. Our next dimension is we must revisit the dedication. Now, this is really critical because oftentimes we don't have a problem with the passion that we started with, but somewhere in that journey, watch this, we find ourselves depleted, we find ourselves diminished, we find ourselves sometimes on empty. And I want to give you a few things that I hope will help you with this next piece about revisiting your dedication. The definition for dedication is simply this, the quality of being dedicated or committed to a task or purpose. I gave it to you all on the front end, but this is actually the one for the word dedication. It's the quality of being dedicated or committed to a task or purpose. The great track runner, athlete, and Olympian, Gail Devers, she said, and I quote, keep your dream alive. Understand to achieve anything requires faith and belief in yourself, vision, hard work, determination, and dedication, remember all things are possible for those who believe. This is important to understand because revisiting your dedication requires you to look within yourself and do a self check and really asking yourself questions that only you can answer. Do you know that there's so many leaders that try to convince the one that are following them, they try to convince them, but sometimes the leader must be convinced themselves first before they can really walk into their purpose. They can really walk into that area, especially I'm a man of God and I preach the gospel and we travel. But you know what? Before I can convince the people of God about the word that God has given me, I first must find myself convinced of what he told me. All right. Now, here's what I want to give you about the revisiting your dedication. You cannot afford to forget the why. So many people, they tap into the what, but they forget the why. You've heard this before. This is nothing new. You've heard this dynamic before, but I want to challenge you. Don't forget your why. Your why is attached, is partnered with your passion. All right. It's partnered with the thing that motivates you. It's the thing that makes you wake up in the morning when you want to stay in the bed. It's the thing that makes you want to quit. And the thing that makes you want to keep going when you want to quit. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Never forget your why. The other thing is this. It's easy to get lost in the assignment and lose the passion. Absolutely. This is the reason you have to stay in a consistent place of revisiting your dedication, because you can lose the purpose. You can lose your why. You can get lost in the assignment that you've been given, or the assignment you even gave yourself, literally, and find yourself losing the passion. There are many people that have lost their passion. They've lost their passion because they found themselves just doing the work and they didn't take time to remind themselves the why behind what they were doing. Do y'all hear me? The other thing that you'll notice is this, and I want to challenge every leader on here. If you've never done this, I want to challenge you to do this. Daily affirmations. When you revisit the place of your dedication, daily affirmations, daily reminding yourself, daily confessing that I will accomplish this. I will soar in this area. I will overcome in this area. I will not be held back by this. Adversity will not take me out. I shall be victorious in this day. I will reach my goal. These are things, men and women, please hear me. Your daily affirmation is critical to your success in the present and future. Watch this. Your daily affirmation provides healthy support to the winning mentality. If you're going to have a winning mentality, I want to challenge you and tell you, you have to have a daily affirmation. This is something that reminds your spirit, your soul, of why it is you're going to be victorious. See, I want to tell you that nothing you do that's successful is by accident or osmosis. No, everything that you do successful, you had to plan for it. It was intentional. Because any success that you have that you cannot measure, or success that you cannot find a formula for, we cannot call it success. Success is measurable. Success, you can go back and you can look at the why behind what made you successful. And daily affirmations must be a part of that. All right. Also, I want to tell you this, that dedication, it deals more with the quality versus the quantity. When I tell you to revisit the dedication, when I tell you to revisit the why behind the what I'm telling you is this. You'll find out that the dedication is more in alignment with quality than it is quantity. If it was based upon quantity, many of us would throw in the towel and feel as if we've already missed the mark, we've already failed, we've already, it hasn't happened for us yet. But the truth is, I want to tell you this, is that your dedication is attached to the quality. How well you're doing what you're doing. How consistent are you with your day-to-day? How consistent are you, watch this, with removing your distractions, pushing the refresh button? How consistent are you? What's the spirit in which you're moving in? What's the mentality that you have? All of this is a part of your dedication. Remember this, your dedication, again, deals with the quality versus the quantity. We live in a day and time today where people, they're more caught up in how much versus the consistency of the quality. So I want to challenge you in that area. But I also want to tell you this, to keep in mind that people will invest in your why, in your what rather, when you know your why. See, what we have to understand is the reason for the daily affirmations, the reason for us pushing this refresh button, the reason for us doing these things is because when you walk, business owner, entrepreneur, ministry leader, when you walk, you literally are a walking billboard for your why. People may never ever know what it is the reason why you're doing what you're doing. They may not have time to read your vision. They may not have time to go and read your mantra. But every day that you walk, every day that you open your mouth, every day that you pursue what it is that you have in your heart, every day you go after your dreams and ambitions, people will watch you, and they will watch you and hear what you're saying through your actions versus they will through what you say through your mouth. So it's important for us to understand that. It's very critical. All right. We dealt with the first dimension, which dealt with removing your distraction. All right. Then, secondly, we dealt with revisiting your dedication, the place that gave you your why for what it is that you do. But I want to give you the third dimension. And this is one that's really critical for my note takers. Hear me tonight. The third dimension is critical. It's refuel. You must refuel your, are you with me? You must refuel your determination. This part is critical for you. Let's look at the definition for that. The definition for determination is this: it's firmness of purpose and resoluteness. All right. When you refuel your determination, listen to what determination is again. It's firmness of purpose and resoluteness. This thing is absolute inside of you. There is no uncertainty. There is no wavering. There's no vacillation. There's no ups and downs, in and outs. Today I will, tomorrow I won't. Not sure, maybe I can. No, you're absolutely certain about what's in your heart. And that place sometimes gets low. That place of determination, it gets low. But I want to tell you tonight, that's the place that you have to put something in there. You have to refuel that place. All right. Notice this, that I want to tell you this. Take the time to fill back up. It's okay to say, you know what, I've gotten low. It's okay to say, I'm tired. It's okay to say, you know what, I'm at the end of my road. We all get there. And maybe you're listening tonight and maybe you've been there before. Maybe you're there right now. And if you're not there, you say, well, I'm good. Well, congratulations to you, the place that you're in. But there's some of us out here who've literally gotten tired. I can admit in my ministry, there's times I've been tired and like, oh my God, Lord, I can't keep going. And that's when I realized I had to stop. And going back to the athletes, you'll notice the long distance cross country runners, they run and they run these marathons. But you'll notice that every so often there's a checkpoint. There's somewhere where there's something to drink. Like right now, I need something to drink. Wonderful. Don't y'all laugh at me. You'll notice that there's a checkpoint where they get to drink. They get to put some electrolytes back in them. They get to put that H2O back in them. Why is that? Because when you run, you perspire and you lose something. You're losing something as you're gaining forward motion. Let me say that again. You're gaining forward motion, but you're yet losing something. And if you don't replenish that while you're yet going, you'll faint. You'll give up. You'll quit. You won't even have enough to continue. And so I want to tell you that you've got to refuel your determination. You've got to make sure that your certainty, your resoluteness, you got to make sure that you're firm on the inside. No matter what comes at you, no matter what adversities around you, you can't let what's happening around you, watch this, dictate what happens in you. Can I say that again? Don't let what's happening around you dictate what happens in you. You got to control this. All right. All right. Notice this. Even a vehicle with an empty tank can't go far. If it's empty, I don't care how beautiful the vehicle is. It can be beautiful. It could be a wonderful Bentley, Ferrari. It could be a Maybach. It could be a wonderful Genesis. It could be whatever you want it to be. S500. At the end of the day, no matter how beautiful it is, no matter how well put together it is, if it does not have what it requires to move, that beautiful, nice, physical car will sit where it is and will not move forward. Watch this, because it's empty. And there's oftentimes we don't realize that some things that we should have accomplished in 2018 and 2019 that's getting ready to happen, we won't get there if we stay empty. So I want to challenge you tonight. Take some time to refuel. How do you refuel? I want to give you this real quick. Sometimes you got to get around people, watch this, who are overflowing. When you're empty, you got to get around people who are overflowing. That's why it's important to partner with other people. It's imperative that you connect with other business owners who are excited about what they're doing and they're in an overflow season. So that way you can connect with them because maybe they're doing something because their mindset is in a different place, whereas yours is low. And watch what happens. You'll begin to have a winning mentality because now you've partnered, you've connected. And as it is with ministry, as it is with your education, whatever it is in life, you got to partner with people who are already winning because watch this, it'll bring you to a level of winning. It's important for you to do that. Watch this. When you're revisiting your determination, there's no uncertainty allowed. None. There's no room for it. There's no space for it. It's all or nothing. You're all in or you're all the way out. There is no partial. When you're talking about going after something, and again, the definition lets us know it's resoluteness, it's firmness. There's nothing about it that's weak. It's absolute. So you have to remind yourself that while I'm going after this thing, uncertainty is not allowed. This is a no allowed certainty atmosphere. All right. So it's important for you to realize that. Now, let me get to this next piece under revisiting your dedication, refueling, your determination. And that's this. You have to respect a determined individual. People have to respect a determined individual. Let me say that again. Those around you, your family, your friends, everybody around you, you have to respect a determined individual. My father said this some time ago, Pastor Robert E. Jones Sr., my spiritual father and my hero. He said this. He said, son, you don't have to like a pit bull, but you will respect him. And I started laughing because I thought about the times that we used to walk down the street when we were playing, and we could see a Labrador without it being chained up. And we could see a golden retriever, and literally, it was just like seeing a dog. They didn't even have to be chained up. They could be loose, but that didn't make us afraid. But we could see a pit bull chained up. And because of his reputation of being able to, and I'm not saying they're the worst dogs, but I'm just telling you the reputation, we automatically would start walking to the other side of the street purely because we had respect for what it was capable of. And that's what it is about you that you have to know. That people, circumstances, and things around you that don't even want you to win, watch this, they don't even have to like you, but they got to respect you because people respect a determined mentality. They respect someone that made up in their mind, no matter what happens, I'm going to win, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to accomplish what it is that I set out to do. Let me tell you this, that is Rod Thomas, the founder and also the directing manager of a great prolific financial institution. He says this, and I quote, determination shows that you are able to take on any challenge, and employers love to see employees willing to fight through any problem that may arise. I found out that people who are determined, it doesn't matter what comes at them. They know if I got to go over, if I got to go under, if I got to go around, and if over, under, around does not work, I will go through you. Here's why. Because they're determined. And when they started this journey, when they started pursuing what they had to go after, they did not consider failing. Failure was not an option. Some of us have to understand that when failing is not an option, then success is mandatory. When failing is not an option, success is mandatory. I don't care if it's getting ready to launch a business. Maybe you're getting ready to expand your business. Maybe it is that you're getting ready to launch out into ministry, or maybe an idea that you've had for the community and partnering with other individuals, and you're trying to figure out how is it that I'm going to be able to take this great idea, but having no budget. How is this going to partner? Maybe it is that because you're so determined that all you have is an idea, but the person that you're about to partner with, all they have is money. And guess what? Because all they have is money and all you have is an idea, together all you have is a wonderful plan. But when you're determined, things can begin to happen. Things can begin to flow in your life. And so I want to challenge you tonight that as you all consider this 3D effect, allow these things to resonate in your spirit. Allow these moments, and I hope I've said something to encourage you, to push you, to propel you to the next dimension in your life. Again, that not only is it about you going high to the next level, not only is it about you expanding and networking and having a great net worth, but also it's that third dimension. It's the thing that separates you from everybody else. It's your why, your passion. Don't be shallow, but be one that's full of substance, and that one that is walking and carrying out purpose every day, because again, you are your own billboard. I hope tonight that I said something to bless you. Right now, listen, I'm getting ready to open up opportunity and space for Q&A. And so they're going to let me know, those of you that have questions or comments of things of that sort, so we can go ahead and answer those for you. Because it's important, and I want to say this to you because it's really important to realize. And one of the other things that I want to challenge you with while they're getting those questions together is I told you at the beginning of it, I said that not only do we want to remove the distraction, not only do we want to revisit the dedication, but we also want to watch this refuel that determination. One of the things that I had on here that I want to share that I think is important is that oftentimes when you're looking at your place of determination, and hold on, I'm sorry. If there is anyone that has questions, if you're listening, sir, you're listening, ma'am, you're out there and you have questions, wherever you are, I want you to go ahead and post your question so that we can answer it and that we can meet you right where you are. Again, if you have questions, if there's something that you want to know, those of you that are on here listening, please feel free to ask your question, because the only way that we're going to be able to get to this next place in our business, in our ministry, in what it is that we're doing, we have to know, get some answers. And so tonight I want you to ask your question, and they're going to post it for us. That way we can answer it for you. And I'm certainly excited about this moment. Listen, I get excited about these things because it's inspiration that takes us from one place to the next. And sometimes we have to know that it's these type of settings like Compel Digital Summit that allows us to be in a place of obscurity, a quiet place. Watch this, where it's not all the lights, cameras, and action. But once we get the information that we need, then we can make it happen when we go out into the public, and we can be able to go and accomplish and overcome and hurdle over some things. I want to also give a shout out to some of the places of search that I went to get my information. One of the books that I want to give a shout out to is Frank DiMaggio. He's the writer of the book, The Making of a Leader. If you've never read that book, it's an incredible book. Frank DiMaggio is a great writer, and he writes with clarity and certainly a prophetic writer, because there's things that you'll be reading about now that will bring insight and impact to what you'll be doing later on in life or in your business pursuits. Also, the book from Tim Berry entitled Hurdle, the book on business planning. And these also are principles. Can I tell you this? This is for free, that whatever it is in life that you don't apply, if you don't apply principles, and this is what I found out as a leader, as someone who's trying to be impactful, all right, if you do not use principles, you'll always need a miracle. And so I want to challenge you to apply these principles that you're hearing on this Compel Digital Summit. Listen, I want to thank each and every one of you for your time. Thank you for your allowing us to share tonight. Again, I want to thank Mr. James Jacobs for this opportunity to be a part of this. And I hope tonight that we said something as we close and prepare to close, that we say something that blessed you, something that provoked you, something that caused you to stop and to just think about where you are and what it is that you have to accomplish. And I pray that we fulfilled our assignment tonight. So once again, thank you all for having us. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this wonderful platform. God bless.